So, firstly, I am today the custodian of the campaign, but I think one of the biggest lessons for me is around people. I touched on it before. I want and aim and fight to be surrounded and to nurture and to grow a team.
Sure.
Because I believe that if you're not part of a team, you will never do great work.
Sure. At ABSA, being a bank means staying connected. It means being a part of your future, providing relief at a time of need, and doing this through effective, secure online platforms. It means staying in touch when everyone else seems distant. Being a bank means knowing that we've come from far and are yet to go further. Sibuya kude futhi sisaya kude. And that possibly this could be a time for a new beginning, an opportunity to reflect and rebuild. We are alongside you, helping you to finance your dreams and grow your legacies. We are in this together. Regal Fela, Sisoke. Once as Amal San. That is African Ambassador.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Pat and Brands podcast with Pat and
Mpumi.
Yeah, we back on the cameras.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute,
Welcome back. My name is Unompumelelo Sacha, and we have Pat Mahlangu as your host for the Pat on Brands podcast. I think it's episode 33, if I'm not mistaken, but welcome back.
Yep.
For those who are listeners, current, new, those who are coming, like we always say, tell your uncle to tell your uncle.
Of course.
To listen to this podcast.
And don't forget to subscribe.
This time now we need to know you must share, you must subscribe, you must like, you must tag, you must
Listen.
message, whatever engagement.
Click on that notification bell as well. Hey, there's a lot of these things,
Yeah.
So Mpumi, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've been well. Trying to think. Work's busy. Lenala almost won.
Yeah, how is that?
We were celebrating 1 year of Lenala
Are you throwing a big party?
No. We're throwing a party 3 years.
In 3 years,
Yeah,
okay.
3
There's no
years.
budget.
No budget.
But at least you can buy some cake.
Yes, no, there'll be celebration.
You buy some non-alcoholic, Gullis sparkling wine.
Yeah, no, I mean,
And
there'll be some movement that's different from the norm.
And also do it for the content
Yeah.
on social media, right?
Yeah. So do make sure to make your way to the studio opposite 44 Stanley anytime. And the team will be there for you. Great
stuff. So, I mean, from my side, obviously, I'm still on the Iowa high. Like, it doesn't want to let me go. We are pumping, but also excited that we finally launched our tech startup, Circulated, which really is a very exciting platform where people can exchange the products that they want for the ones they have, or the ones they have for the ones they want, whichever way you want to look at it.
So this is a barter. So I did the VO and I didn't know. I mean, I understood what was going on and I thought maybe they were still a transaction, financial transaction. But
It's
now
a cashless.
you told me that it's cashless. So if I have, for example, a phone and I could want marketing service, for example, I can then barter a marketing service for a phone.
For a phone,
example.
yeah.
The value of, I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, but also, I mean, given where we are now as a country and the world at large, you know, climate change is a real thing. And people are sitting with products, people are throwing products away, and that really obviously has an impact on the environment.
Yeah.
So we want to say, look, you can circulate your products on our platform. Instead of buying new products, you know, circulate the ones you have for the ones you want.
Sure, that's
Then
very
again,
interesting.
From an economy perspective, you know, people are cash-strapped, rather. So there's not a lot of money in people's wallets, but there's something sitting in your house that you can you can circulate this paper for a loaf of bread if you wanted to.
Sure.
You know,
so it's placing value on an item and then getting something.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Actually, there's been an interesting documentary on in the US where a guy actually started with a paperclip and he bartered the paperclip for something else and ended up getting a whole house.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you just kept
exchanging things, and just showed how powerful bartering is as a means of acquiring products and services that you want.
Sure.
So that's Circulated. So you can go to circulated.online. You can list your products, sign up. It's free. You don't have to pay to sign up for to be on Circulated. Yeah.
So whilst we're on that, where we're bartering and we're saying we're cash strapped, we also have the repo rate conversation.
Ooh, that one.
Yeah.
Who likes the repo rate going up?
And for those that don't know, repo rate is and I'm going to say it correctly, I'm trying to remember my economics class. It is us, the banks lending from our reserve bank. I got it. The right one.
Yep.
And that also affects our inflation rate. So when that increases, I mean, I remember at the beginning of what is it called? COVID.
Yep.
There was a whole frenzy that, guys, we need to buy houses. Now we can buy houses.
Buy cars.
Yep. Because repo rates, because inflation rates. Now we're in a hard and a rock place at the moment.
Absolutely.
Given the increase, which also will affect our inflation rate, etc. So price of petrol has gone up.
Oof. It's been going up. It's still going to go up.
Yeah. So everything is going up. So in a sense, I think everybody is very much looking after what they have.
Yep.
And trying to make means to get through the daily life. And I think we have an amazing guest who I think it would be really lovely to allow them to join us.
Yeah,
now.
to join this conversation right now.
Because why? Because they're in banking.
Yes.
Right? So
but also just a disclaimer, she's not a financial advisor.
Yes. Let's not get that twisted. We have a beautiful lady.
Yes.
Our guest, Miss Vongani Mageza. She is the
head of strategic marketing for ABSA Retail Business Banking.
Yes, business bank. So
RBB.
Yes,
Yeah, RBB.
Yeah.
RBB.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Mpumelelo.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
We love it when
Apparently she
we're
was
happy.
told, at the entrance that you know what, she was late for the interview, but she was very much on time. Very much on time. But
How are you doing?
I'm good. Really good. Busy.
Yes.
Inspired.
Inspired.
To be honest.
Sure.
I think,
Fantastic.
but I'm feeling.
So for those that do not know who you are, who is Vongani Mageza?
So I'm a marketer.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what I do every day.
Yes.
But who I am is a mom, a
Nice.
wife, a sister,
Sure.
a podcast junkie.
Yes. Now
Wow.
you're a podcast contributor.
And
Now-
I'm a contributor.
Yeah.
I'm a reader. I recently started cycling. I've been influenced by my husband. on
Wow.
that. So I'm a all-round, just a ordinary girl from Soweto, really.
Wow. Interesting. So now, I mean, obviously marketing is what you do. Growing up as the girl from Soweto, is this something that you always wanted to do?
No. I think I'll be honest, I stumbled into this.
Wow.
I actually, when I started working, I actually started in HR.
I was going to say, so we have a bit of history, and I wanted to touch on
Yes.
how did you go from HR, which was, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, and I don't know if I can share the brand at the time in
Yeah,
terms
I
of
was at
Unilever.
Yeah, at the big U.
So at
The
So I left university, and what I'd done law and industrial psychology, and I was like, I don't think this law thing is quite for me.
Sure.
So let me go into actually, let me be honest. Unilever was recruiting for their very,
Sure.
very prolific management training program.
Wow.
So I went in and I was interviewed, went through the whole process, and they were like, great, because of what your qualification is, we're going to take you as a management trainee into HR.
Sure.
And I joined.
Wow.
I was happy. did it for a year. But my customers at the time, as
Yeah.
a human resource consultant, was trade marketing and marketing.
Oh.
So I started to
Engage with them.
engage with what they were
These
doing.
cool people.
These people. And then they were like, and then I was like, you know what? Because of who I am, a bit of a entrepreneurial spirit, I love business, and
Yes.
I feel a little bit separated from what the core of this organization is about.
Wow.
I want to try marketing.
Sure.
And my manager at the time, I'll never forget her, a lady by the name of Lindy Walker, was like, no, sure. Here at Unilever, we recruit for potential.
Sure.
So
That's profound, yeah?
The one thing, though, was that I didn't win up because I was coming in as a management trainee in HR. Hadn't done a numeracy test
Yeah.
as part of the battery of tests that were done. So she's like, but the only thing you have to do the numeracy test because this is now like, commercial thing. I was so nervous. I was never the best at maths. I went in, wrote the test, really did well. And they were like, cool. Yeah, you can be an assistant brand manager on the Shield in deodorants, on the Shield roll-on. You know Shield?
Yeah.
Deodorant. And that's where I started. And I think that was around 2001. And I've been in marketing ever since.
Sure.
Interesting.
Weirdly enough, for me, that
That was when 2001?
I think it was 2001 or 2.
I was 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, for me, the moral of that story and what I've always taken out and what I've carried with for myself throughout in my career was taking a chance on people and being a person who's not a blocker, but a person who opens doors.
Sure.
Something that I've continued in my career. I want to be that person who opens doors and gives a chance to people. That's sort of, that was not me moving to marketing. I think the big takeout was take a chance, open doors, be that person who gives people an opportunity to follow their dreams.
Oh, that's profound.
Yeah.
So now, how's the experience like at BQ? I mean, we had, I've had a lot of marketers and some of the top marketers in the country
That come from
worked at Unilever. How is it like for you?
Yeah, so, it's one of those places. Marketing has evolved so much over the years. I mean, I think I left Unilever in 2006 or 7.
Sure.
So, but I literally, the marketer that I am today is based on what I learned there.
Sure.
And I say that because they taught me consumer-centric approach to marketing. So everything that we do, we still talk about the fundamentals that I learned there. There's actually 2 companies where I learned really strong fundamentals, and it was early in my career. It's Unilever, and the second is Diageo. Those two organizations, I think as a marketer, if you can, aim to be there. You do so much. I mean, you work with the best. You get global best practice, but you are really localizing. You're trying to understand. I mean, the amount of consumer work that those organizations do, it's just, it's invaluable.
Sure.
So I must say,
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know some of us if we'll ever qualify as the top marketers in the country because we didn't work at Unilever. Because
We're not recognized.
Yeah.
I don't think it's about that. I think it's about...
Because it's Unilever, it's brand house at the time.
Yes, I was at
It's SAB, now AB and Bev.
Yeah.
Those
those
3
are the
companies.
3 main,
3 main
The
companies.
others are,
I think there's really great... there's a Procter and... There's a lot of organizations.
Yeah.
But it's mostly what? FMCG, right?
Yes, I wanted to say that.
in terms of industry. Yeah.
In terms of sector, industry,
Yes,
I think those FMCG companies really offer a lot.
No, I think maybe it would be even quite lovely to introduce our burning question, because she's touched on, for her, it's about being a door opener. And I think our burning question is about how is ABSA, reigniting people's lives. And I think that's quite a close connection between the ABSA reigniting people's lives and what you've mentioned in terms of doors or opening doors for people. Maybe can you give us a bit about that campaign?
Yeah, so we recently launched a campaign that's called Rediscover Real Living with ABSA. And again, I think I'll come back to the fact that for me, the way I approach marketing, it has to be really based on a deep consumer insight, and it needs to be based on a purpose. So if there's no purpose behind what we do, it becomes a bit empty.
Yeah.
So I mean, the journey of Rediscover Real Living didn't start this year.
Okay.
Actually,
There's been a build-up.
You know what I mean? It starts probably when I joined ABSA in 2018. ABSA is a new brand with a lot of deep heritage and history in the country.
Sure.
So when ABSA relaunched in 2018, it was about the spirit of Africanacity. Africanacity being this uniquely African way that we have to find a way to get things
and
done.
embracing it.
Got you.
Find a way to. It's a word that ABSA made up.
Sure.
So you worked on the brand relaunch?
So indirectly, yes.
Indirectly. Because I was there when they announced the new ABSA with the drone show.
The drones, you know.
It was
it's
really
just that
amazing to
spirit of
experience.
possibility.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, unlocking possibilities for people. So in retail and business bank, we identified I can out of Africanacity. It's embedded into
Oh,
it.
yes.
You understand? I
Yeah.
can. And
Wow.
for us in 2020, we said, I can with ABSA. ABSA has these products and services that allow consumers, customers to say, I can.
Yeah.
So we've been doing I can for a long time. COVID hit in 2020.
Sure.
We had these 2 years of what I would say we almost were on pause. And this year, when we entered into 2022, I could literally feel that the spirit of South Africans was like, no, man, we want to live again.
Yeah.
We want to, mask or no mask, okay, the mask mandates have now since been dropped.
Yes.
Social distancing or not, work from home or not.
Travel or not.
Travel or not,
Yeah.
you know, lockdown. We want to live again. So for us, it was about how does ABSA play a role in the fact that people are ready to take back control and live again.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was the insight. In fact, the internal, I'm getting you into the,
the VIP
little-
The juicy
the
parts.
VIP. In fact, our internal platform that we identified, we called it Aspileni for Real. Let's live again for real.
Wow.
And obviously our agency, very talented ladies who own Black Swan Agency, Tembaletti Msibi and Wandi.
Yeah.
They then came up with this campaign around Rediscover Real Living. And for us, we looked at our products and services and we were like, yes, it matches with who we are.
Sure.
It matches with the spirit of Africanacity.
Yeah.
And we can offer South Africans that actually open a conversation and then offer the products that allow people to live again.
Yeah. But in your view, what is real living? What do you mean when you say?
It's what you think it is. So in my,
Yeah.
we literally, we've got a platform called We Do More Wednesdays, where it's a social media platform. Every Wednesday, we just engage with people. And from those kind of conversations, we're picking up things like, I want to study. I want to improve my home. I want to travel again. I want to have a party for Rumtanam. She
Sure.
turned 1 and I couldn't because
Yeah.
it was lockdown. My dad turned 80. I graduated. So all of those things, living again is what it means to you. Our role as a bank is to say,
I want to go to the gym
be
more
an
I
often.
want to go to the gym. You know what I mean? So it's just being that enabler and saying we can meet you, we can be there with you. And I think for me, living again, I can't say what it is. You know,
It's what it means to me.
And then is there a role for the brand or the bank that ABSA? If there is, here's the product. You know.
Yeah, but I think for me, the biggest thing with COVID, again, obviously it was a huge disruptor. You know, a lot of people lost money. A lot of people lost, their well-being in all, in its all forms, you know. But then again, I think with this reliving again, it's also just going back to somehow where things were, take out the good stuff and leave out the best stuff as well. all the bad habits of not saving money, because we realized in COVID that, damn,
I don't have a penny to my name.
Exactly. No, exactly.
And maybe it's also quite important now to bring in, I mean, you're the head of strategic marketing for RBB, which is retail and business banking.
Yeah.
Now, retail is known for, I mean, when we were listening or looking at the news at the time, retail was doing well. We also saw e-com become a big thing.
Yep.
Businesses, though, shut down. Now, it was the unfortunate part is now people are either putting pieces together, other people either had to find other jobs or other ways, or other people had to find, whether it was informal businesses, but there was a way that people had to try and make money. Others open mass business. I don't know how it's going now. But PPE. Now we're here though, and being specifically in retail business, it can be quite heavy in terms of financial strain. What does it mean now for a business person who's saying, listen, I'm in business, whether retail, whether any other business, and looking at ABSA, whether partnering or being an enabler to rediscovering real living in this instance?
So, such a great question. And, when you work for a brand that is at the pulse and really does understand South Africa, I think it almost becomes instinctive how we respond. We launched a platform called ABSA Small Business Fridays recently in March.
Yeah.
And this is a platform where we have decided to galvanize South Africans behind the understanding that small business is the pulse of the economy.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So the SME Fridays is, and people are going to think we talked about this, but
we did it. We promise.
This is the first time it's happening.
But this is a campaign that we launched that we will reward you as an ABSA customer and an ABSA Rewards member for shopping at a small business every Friday. Wow. So we double your rewards points.
Sure.
And
interesting.
then for small businesses, we actually say...
If I may, so how do you track that? How do you know this transaction was done?
No, because we do track, because we know what people... Firstly, I'm an ABSA Rewards member and I swipe my card. We've got ways, we track it. So we
part of your
CRM.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's part of exactly the customer relationship management, how we do it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then on the small business side, they actually get fees back on, obviously small businesses pay for their point of sale.
Course.
But for us, it's less about...
so the small business must be banking with...
So you bank with ABSA and
okay.
you've got an ABSA point of sale. So that's how we're able to track.
Yes.
Makes sense.
But it's less about what ABSA gets. It's more about us saying, we want to partner with South Africa to reinvigorate this economy. And we want to do it on both sides. To the consumer, we want to actually, or to the purchaser, we want to reward you for being part of reinvigorating the economy with double ABSA rewards. And for the SME, we've got a lot of products and services. We've got a recent something we launched last year called Business Evolve for small businesses. It's very digitally led. We've got so for us, I think a brand these days has to be reciprocal in terms of how you deal with people. It has to be give and take. It can't just be all about the profit and the bottom line. It also needs to be about the higher purpose. And I was very proud of ABSA's response to COVID. We did a lot of interventions. I mean, even, in terms of giving people payment holidays and so to me, I feel like it's easy to market when it comes from an authentic place.
Certainly.
And I think, when you are us as consumers or whatever, you need to have an open conversation with your bank about where you are. Because there are solutions.
And that
we can call a
specialist for that. And I think you're quite right. I think especially during COVID, and maybe... And I always say, I don't know, sometimes maybe we don't have a healthy relationship, or we don't even know that we don't have a relationship with our money. with our budget, with our finances. So by the time you get a call from your bank, one or two, you want to hide underneath your bed. Whereas, like you said, you can have a transparent and open conversation and work through, your if it's debt, or work through your finance options that are available. Sorry, you want to add to that?
No, that's so true. And I think for me, there's options that are available. For instance, we need to be smarter as consumers and customers. Joining a rewards program, for instance, like ABSA Rewards, there are benefits. You get cash back when you spend, you get discounts at certain retailers. We've got ABSA Advantage where we teach you how to bank smarter and we reward you instantly with a voucher, 50 Rand meal voucher. There's hacks. Recently we launched plus 10% cash back when you fill up at Cecil, because we realized that, times are tough, petrol is high. So I think for us, there's ways to manage. Our current campaign, Rediscover Real Living, we are highlighting the fact that you can get the best interest rate guaranteed. We all know that loans are there. You need them sometimes to fill a gap. But don't go and take a loan that's going to cost you. You get it. Exactly, depending on your risk profile. But you're able to come to ABSA and get a loan that is at the best rate for you. Or if you move your loan from another bank where maybe you're on a chokehold, we'll be able to offer
you can't breathe.
So it's called a balance transfer. But if you move your balance to ABSA, we'll better
the interest rate that you...
So we must, because I think we've got a weird relationship with money. Just be open, read, find out. There are really, really great products and solutions. And I'm speaking for ABSA. We really do have a great products and solutions for people. And that's why I can confidently say, live with ABSA.
Yeah. I mean, I think my question is, obviously, doing all these great things, but the question is why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you want people to rediscover living with you instead of maybe any other bank?
So I think it goes back to my initial, when we opened, that for me, I want to do things that matter to, I'm going to speak for Vongani.
Vongani, yes.
Yeah. I want to do campaigns, talk to people on things that matter and make a difference. And that's why I think, when you are doing things, and as I said, it matters to me to work for organizations like ABSA because it's genuinely what we say, we can put our money where our mouth is.
Got you.
It's important. Banking it's a core function of South Africa.
Economy.
I don't think anybody cannot bank. Well, you cannot bank. I was going to say something. We all have to bank.
Absolutely.
So how you bank becomes important.
Absolutely.
And how I take my role as almost an education role. Do you get it? To make sure that we're able to bank well and bank better with the best bank.
Absolutely. And also to improve people's lives, because at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, our banks are actually sort of our caretakers to a large extent, We put our money with them, or we save our money with them because there's trust, We put our money away because we want to see it grow, So there's, I guess making life better is...
It's so important. And rediscovering real living is actually it's not just about a loan or spending, but it's about how we make sure you save. It's savings month, July is savings month.
Okay. Oh, yes, it is. We even forgot.
Because we're like, what am I saving?
But that's the thing. So it's about how do we help you? The products that we've got at ABSA are from if you can save a little bit to if you've got a lot to you want to invest. And for us, we've upped our interest rate. We're giving, on certain products, so that we're saying to actually save. We know it's important. Part of rediscovering living is paying forward to, knowing for your future.
Sure.
And I want to circle back again to these business owners. I think when you make a decision with a bank,
I feel like in Mpumi you're consulting now.
no,
I'm getting it for free.
I'm coming back to RBB. And for our our listeners and our audiences is that you're a young business, and I think you find that especially with small businesses, there's fragmented parts of the building blocks, whether from, and we always say that you get to learn about trademarking as you go. I mean, we've had conversations around that.
Yep.
Banking, SARS comes into play. Like, there's so many suppliers, if I'm to call it like that, or stakeholders rather, of which now also a bank. I mean, I think I'm going back to the relationship you're building with your banker or with your bank, is that we almost then just make a decision either at a whim, or what are the considerations as a small business that you're looking at when you say, listen, I want to partner with a bank,
Yeah, I think you need to partner with anybody, not just a bank, but with people who are also invested in your growth. I think that's the. But also you need to realize that you need to sell your vision to whoever it is,
to be able to partner with you. I really like that. So now, I mean, we have our current customers, we have our old customers who are either with you guys or new customers. But what's the benefit? Like, I think you've touched on the benefit for now the value. I mean the CRM element. But now a new person who says, listen, okay, actually, let me register with or let me become a client with ABSA. How do we go about doing that? What is there a value to it? Is there an added benefit, of me coming to
I mean, I think it depends on the profile and what you're looking for. But I think for me, there's a lot of value to banking with ABSA. Especially what we call if you treat ABSA as your main bank, that's where you really start to see what.
Not a side chick, as your main.
Your main bank. That's part of the message of the Rediscover campaign. To say, when you bank with ABSA, these are the benefits. So our products come embedded with a lot of benefits. We've got death benefits, we've got retrenchment benefits, you bank for free on some accounts, you bank for low fees on many of our accounts. If you're digitally banking, and this is where it comes to life, make the decisions, bank digitally, you're able to withdraw money for free. We've got till point withdrawals. We've got, I think the more you invest in your banking relationship, the more you can unlock. You join a rewards program, you're getting cash back, you know what I mean? Yeah. So those are the things. You get better rates, like the if you're a student, you're banking with ABSA, you get your interest kept at prime. So sometimes if you go to another bank, they give you prime plus. So it's really, when we talk about the benefits of banking with ABSA, I mean, there's a long list of them. But I think for me, I would talk about the embedded benefits, the rewards program, as well as the digital banking.
Sure.
Those three things are the building blocks of a great relationship and a great outcome for you as a customer when you're looking for, when you bank with ABSA.
And I think you've said, so you could be, in your teens, because I find that with I would say in banking, is that we either hop, or we have one, like you say, not a side chick, so one is your savings, other home loan, other, but how important is it, like you say, to have all your content in one? It helps with your profile. You're almost building like that continuities that even your kids, are under there, and you continuously, and I think it goes back to a CRM, and I believe if you're saying rediscover real living, is that it's a continuous thing. It's that thing where, I pass it on to my kids. They know that, we've been to the red bank every time, even if I was 4, typing my own PIN to take something out, but I can relate with that.
And those are the stories that a bank like ABSA has.
Yeah.
People have been banking with ABSA for a long time. And, when you talk about a family solution, if you and your partner or your spouse both bank with ABSA, you get a 50% discount on the spouse's banking fees. Those are you get it.
You didn't know this. now we need to make
So you really
Wow.
say, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're right. I think that relationship, and there are benefits to banking with ABSA and making ABSA your main bank.
Sure.
Sure, interesting. Mpumi, maybe one should consider, if you're watching this right now, reevaluate your life.
I am already, because
reevaluate.
I have one for savings, one for that,
Yeah, one for that, you
but
know?
yeah, I think now I need to put it all together.
Yeah, I need to
and have a main chick.
exactly reevaluate your
Make ABSA your main chick.
Nah.
make ABSA your hashtag make ABSA your main chick.
I don't know if we can go with that. But now let's go back to Vongani. I mean, you are the custodian of this campaign, in a sense that from a marketing perspective and selling it to the audience. But now, in your career as you're climbing up, what are the lessons you did mention that and the other uni, what you took from that, where it was understanding your consumer. But what else? And I think as you move in different stages of the ladder, there's certain things that you can inherit and move with, and that now you're bringing to ABSA.
Yeah. So, firstly, I am today the custodian of the campaign, but I think one of the biggest lessons for me is around people. I touched on it before. I want and aim and fight to be surrounded and to nurture and to grow a team.
Sure.
Because I believe that if you're not part of a team, you will never do great work.
Sure.
And I also think another lesson that I've gone with is to always look for and discover what is everybody's strength and leverage on that and encourage that and nurture that. Because in my team, in our team, I should say, as strategic marketing, we have people who are passionate about media. We've got people who are passionate about copy. We've got people who are passionate about the visual. We've got people who are passionate about identifying partnerships. And all of that is what comes together when you are creating campaigns. And I think as a leader and as a person who is led, what I've always appreciated is people who are looking at what I'm good at and working with that, and not pointing out my weaknesses, but not making those what defines me.
Sure.
And that's what I try and do with everybody who I work with. So the campaign, it's a big campaign. It's got a TV show which is called I Can with ABSA Drive.
Yeah.
We are traveling South Africa, all 9 provinces, giving people an
In Toyota
opportunity.
Quantums.
In the Toyota, we call them then the Toyota Money Rides.
Oh, yeah?
And there's people in my team who love that. They're at every shoot.
I was like, I tap out now.
Like some people are like, hey, I'm not going to Mokopo.
Yeah.
But
there's those.
There's those people who are great. There's people who their attention to detail is insane.
Yeah.
They can pick up, we forgot that line there, or that price. So it's about really working on the strengths of people. And for me, that's what I've picked up as I go along. But I also think one of the big things, and my team knows, I am a perfectionist. And I think it's a strength if it's channeled correctly.
Got you.
Because I will incessantly push for the best and to get the better. So if I get an idea on the table, and you can ask the agencies and my team, I'll look at it and be like, that's great. But how does it become
The wow factor.
and that's it. I think for me, you must never, and your business people who are listening, never be complacent.
Sure.
Gotcha.
Always ask what's next.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the big thing. Never just, I'll do it and get it over. What's next? When I look at something, I want to be able to put my name on it. So what's your standard? Build your standards and make them very high.
Sure.
Make
Absolutely.
your standards as high as they can possibly. Make them scare you. They must keep you up. And I think that's how, those are the lessons that I'm going with. And also, another big lesson is you need to partner yourself and be in a place, plant yourself in a place where your morals and values and your what you care about match. That's why it's easy for me to, the organizations I've worked with, I've always resonated with what they stand for. The product stands for something, it offers something. You can wake up every day and work and earn a salary, but you're dead inside. You need to be alive.
Sure. And align with that.
And be aligned with what you're doing, you know? I think as a marketer, to me, the way I approach marketing is a heart thing. It's less about the head and more about the heart. And I think once you lose the heart in marketing, it will come through in the work that you do.
Absolutely. You're going to end up with campaigns that offend a lot of people. Campaigns that no one actually can relate to them. Be like, actually, what are they trying to say here? Because the person working on them is really not in tune, not in touch. All they care about is the big bucks at the end of the month.
Look, money might be a motivator for some people, but I think it needs to be about more. As an entrepreneur, I mean, you can say it. You're doing things that matter, like the platform that you were talking about.
Yes.
It's linked to the fact that you were
It's the Youth-Owned Brands Awards, yes?
no, the bartering platform. But
Or circulated, of course.
And the youth, because I believe you really have a purpose around
Absolutely.
making a difference for youth.
Absolutely.
And you understand that people might not be able, there's a global warming crisis. You know, it's linked to something that you truly care about.
Yeah.
And some of us do it within organizations and in corporate cultures, and some people do it as entrepreneurs out there on their own.
Yeah.
But I think the link is the bud of it is the same.
Got you. Actually, I'm glad you went that direction, you know, because a lot of people, especially people in corporate, they don't see themselves as people that can make a huge change in society because they're working within a big brand or within a system, whereas they always say, but yeah, you entrepreneurs are better positioned to tackle XYZ, for example, as a problem, but they don't see themselves like the change makers within a big corporate, like, for example, in this case, ABSA. I'm glad that you are taking the stance of to say, yes, in as much as I work for this bank that's been around for however many years, but my role and my values at this stage, this is where we aligned, and this is how I'm going to create work that will have an impact
I think
society.
you also touched on being entrepreneurial. How I don't know if I would position it as easy is it to still be able to flex that muscle. I think usually you're like, can entrepreneurship still work within the confines of corporate? You'll find, I think there's, books like Leading from the Front or Being the Own Leader from Your Chair. But how easy is it as it being a word, but now actioning that? So,
like anything else in life, I don't think it's easy, but it's worth it. You know, I actually think in order to do well and to survive in corporate, your imperative is to be entrepreneurial.
Sure.
You have to. It's actually the opposite. If you want to do well and you want to make a difference, you have to be entrepreneurial. You have to navigate. You have to create connections. Because I think those are the things about entrepreneurs. It's about you create connections. Yes, maybe they're in the confines of a corporate, but you live and die by your relationships.
Certainly.
If, like, for me, if I'm looking for extra funds to do a campaign that I really believe in, I have to. It's the same thing. I have to put a business plan
And pitch.
and pitch it.
Yeah.
To say, please
And
spend
motivate.
on this.
Yeah.
Why should they spend on Vongani's idea versus
And not-
Mpumele's idea?
Sure.
It's not. It's about. I think it's the personality and the drive rather than the environment that you're in. Some of the best entrepreneurs are corporate people, and some of the who do well.
Actually, you're right.
And some of the best corporate people are ex-entrepreneurs.
Sure.
So it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think
Yeah,
we've
and
never
I think
looked at it
actually,
like that.
it's a very interesting perspective.
Because
You
I
know,
think
that
we've
you bring.
always thought it's disjointed or it's a fight. You are either this or that.
Yeah,
You
it's
can't-
black and white.
You can't
There's no
be
gray.
No, I
an
don't
entrepreneur
think
with
so. I feel at all organizations I've worked for, I've had to be entrepreneurial.
because you're already thinking, if this is not working, how do I move?
How do I
move stock?
Yeah,
You
like
know?
Exactly.
I try. I mean, there's campaigns or things initiatives we've tried that aren't working. How do you quickly pivot? How do you change? And those are the things as entrepreneurs, right?
Sure.
The economy, it's affecting all of us as people. As,
What are the
as
solutions we're
what are the
finding?
solutions?
Yeah.
How do we meet the people? How do we
Exactly.
you
What
know,
do people care
what do
about
people
now?
Care about now?
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah.
And I think marketers, if you think about it, they're actually entrepreneurs at heart.
Yeah, I call us celebrities. I mean, we're failed to be on billboards, so we put other people on billboards.
Nah.
Remember what I said? Why I asked to move from HR? I said, I feel like I've got an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. And that's what I was saying. I think it's so beautiful to hear. And I mean, we've never, I think, had a guest, or maybe personally, I think I learned something, is I've never looked at it that way. I've always thought entrepreneur one, corporate one, and that's why we couldn't find the synergy. It's always, hey, side hustle. It's one of those.
Absolutely.
You
Or you
can't-
have to be on your own to do it. You have to be out there in the wolves for you to to.
There's challenges that, and I'm not gonna, not acknowledge that entrepreneur. I mean, it is a bit. I suppose with me, I do have a bit of a cushion. or
Absolutely.
whatever, but I do believe that spirit of entrepreneurism has to live in, especially in corporates these days, especially, and it has to be throughout the organization at every level, in every function.
Yeah.
It's competitive out there.
Absolutely, because I mean, like you say, you have to mobilize resources, for example, and a huge part of being an entrepreneur is always gathering resources for whatever project or startup you're working on. That's a very key thing. And again, the ability to communicate, which is often something that a lot of people sort of take for granted. Communication as a skill, being able to sell your ideas, and make them make sense to
And how you
the people.
package.
Aha.
Which audience, you have to understand which audience you're speaking to in this forum versus this forum. What dial do you
What do you
Exactly.
take down?
Yeah.
take down this
Yeah.
person?
Yeah. Are they a numbers person, a creative person? Because I think sometimes then that is the confusion maybe, and maybe that's why you don't build a rapport with that person, is because now you've given them graphs and then you've lost them. They're just like, listen, I just wanted pretty pictures. Sell me pretty pictures and
Show
I
me the-
buy into
Yeah.
it,
Sure.
That is
And
really...
it comes down to financial decisions.
At the end of the day. Yeah, at the end of the day. Sure. And maybe, again, going now back to, you've said, I mean, this team that you're leading, I also want now to be part of this team, because it just seems like, I always say I would want to be in Japan, because in Japan, apparently, they have this thing where they match your...
Not because you look like them. Kidding.
They match your strength to your role. So
Wow.
now they've got this whole program happening. So I was like, you see? But now you've also said that now you take that strength and you enhance that, rather than looking at the weaknesses. I think for somebody out there who's young, who's saying, listen, I'm in marketing, I don't know where to go, what to do. What is the almost the first step that they're looking at? I know you've said you fell into it, but at the same time, I think there was intention. By that is you realize that, listen, I'm good here. I think I would find myself better, working within this department. But as a marketer, I think there's so many avenues. The career plan is I don't even think it's linear. An accountant knows this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen if you're a CA, for example. And then after that, it could change. But now I'm a marketer, interning wherever I could be interning, and where do I go? What do I do?
So I think one of the things that I would advise young marketers is they need to be commercially savvy.
Sure.
Marketing is not actually pretty pictures. It is not just the sexy stuff.
Yeah.
You need to understand what are the drivers of the business and how are you as a marketer a lever in order to unlock that growth.
Sure.
Yes, you have to, it's that soft and hard
Yes.
that as a marketer
Yes.
you need to have.
That was...
Yeah?
No, I mean, that was really amazing.
No, I mean, like, one of the roles that I did in my career was a commercial role. I was a general manager. I looked after the luxury portfolio. It's called Reserve at Diageo. And there, I had to meet with customers. I had to understand deals. So what's the deal? How do you... Just do yourself a favor and come in as a business person. Don't come in as I just want to draw a pretty picture. Because that pretty picture needs to be linked to, like now, Rediscover Real Living. It's a wonderful campaign, and I do believe that it's got a great message. But at the same time,
Also commercial
you have
value.
to link the product and the commercial value back to the business. And I think that's maybe where young marketers can go wrong. The second is that your marketing is just, it has evolved, guys. I promise you, like when I think of SEO and leads and digital.
SCM.
And now we're talking about the metaverse and...
You know, you need to keep on the pulse of what's happening and be experimental at the same time. You know, don't read far and wide. Look at other campaigns. Do you know what's going on globally? You need to have your ear on the ground. What are competitors up to? Because sometimes you have to be proactive. Sometimes you have to be
reactive.
You know, it's all this stuff at the same time, you know. I said I'm a podcast junk. Listen to lots of people. Listen.
Be obsessive.
Be obsessive.
You know,
read a lot.
I wish my team will watch this episode till the end because it's exactly what I always preach to them. To say, you won't be great if you just going to come to work 9 o'clock, leave at 5. Do not learn anything. Do not empower yourself. Do not listen to podcasts. Read. Look at what other marketers are doing outside there. Look at what other agencies are doing. You're not gonna. There's no way. Even if you're the most, I would say, gifted person, because in your gift you might come up with something that has already been there. And remember, there's nothing new under the sun. You know.
But it's about your take on it.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And your take on it can only come if you've got a lot of viewpoints.
Yep.
Sure.
I think we can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But Vongani, thank you so much for making the time.
Yeah.
And just being with us here today on a Saturday morning. So we're recording this podcast on a Saturday morning. She could be out on the stand somewhere watching her boys doing the things in the field, and she chose to be with us this morning and share some powerful insights. Now for the fun part of our podcast.
This is a surprise.
I
did warn her.
I had such a good conversation. I got comfortable.
It's amazing how obviously we're meeting for the first time, you know, and she walks in and I'm like, yo, this sister, hey, we better do.
We were already like, yo, okay, we need to figure out our lives today.
You know.
But an absolute gem and an amazing human
for sure,
being that we had the opportunity to engage with. But we have now our last part, which is the podcast, the POB podcast quiz. So there's 5 questions we do ask you interchangeably between myself and Pat. And it's either you get a pat or
you get a slap.
So audience, you must be ready. You must know how many pats and how many slaps. Because after that, we pat for real and we slap for real. So we start with the first question.
The first question actually is... Which hip-hop star's collection has Reebok recently released? So, no, Reebok is the brand. So they've got a sneaker that's out, and they partnered up with a hip-hop star. Is it Nicki Minaj? Is it Cardi B? Or is it Megan Thee Stallion?
It's Megan Thee Stallion.
Yo!
And I love how she's whispering that it's Megan Thee Stallion.
It has...
No.
My son is going to be so embarrassed. Like, Mommy.
Is it?
He will to know this.
Yeah.
Are you for real? Is he a hip hop head?
He's a music.
He's a music.
Yeah, and you talk a lot about music.
Oh yeah.
He told you, Mom. It's
think
just
he
you
did.
it didn't register.
Wait, you said Nicki,
So
Cardi, or
yes.
Megan.
Or Megan.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe Nicki Minaj. I don't know.
Ish.
You-
Even on the second round.
I don't know. But the one thing I do know is he's not a Cardi B fan. He thinks she's like.
And she's the one.
She's the one.
You see, that's why maybe you don't know. He refrained from telling you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm passing.
Our second question is, when was Simba Chips' very first packet launched in South Africa? Was it A, 1997, or B, 1967, or C, 1957?
19.
It draws with flavor.
So is it...
It's on the chip packet.
Yeah?
It's a very old brand.
He's asking for help.
For help.
So 1990...
67.
Are we going to go 67?
Yeah.
Even with the team saying 67. It is 1957. And she almost said 57. But Tim also is not even Googling to help her.
But I feel like it's on the packet. And
It is.
it's such a brand that's been around. It would be
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far I've failed.
Yeah. We've got
Yeah.
3 more to go, so you can still, there's still opportunity
Yeah,
to
so there's 3
salvage.
more.
Yeah.
3 more.
Yeah.
Another iconic South African brand, bubblegum brand.
Chappies.
Yes. Chappies. How do you know? Who was the founder? Who or the creator of Chappies? Is it Arthur Mafokate?
No.
Is it is it Arthur Ginsberg? Or is it Arthur Benson? So one of these Arthurs.
Arthur Benson.
Yo.
You said it's
Yes.
Arthur.
Arthur Mafokate?
So it's Arthur Ginsberg.
Yes, Arthur Ginsberg.
We'll give that one to you.
And
Arthur Ginsberg.
and I had a
Not
yes, man.
Mafokate. It's
Yes.
Arthur Benson I've never heard of.
Okay.
No, it's Arthur Ginsberg. That's a correct.
And then did he start writing the
Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you? Yes, he was I think he was a professor at Vets.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the history. I think I was a history professor, if I'm not mistaken. Then now we bring it to home,
Yeah.
right? The Yobas. So the Yobas are the Youth-Owned Brands Awards that were started by
I don't know.
Pat on Brands. So there were multiple brands that were nominated in this category. So, education. Which brand was voted as the top youth-owned education brand at the...
Owned.
Yes, youth-owned brand. Okay. So, is it Elevate Africa? That won the award, right? Elevate Africa, Brainchild, or the Financial Bunny?
I feel like I saw this on LinkedIn.
I feel like you did. I feel like let's just go back.
So it's Elevate Africa.
Brainchild and
Financial.
I think
Bunny.
it's Elevate Africa.
Yeah. The medulla.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, no, because I saw this.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So you see how marketing works. LinkedIn works.
So there you go.
I saw it, yeah.
Do you know the lady
No.
behind it? Alma
No, I don't.
Ayub.
And our last
Yeah.
question. Which brand comes to mind when you hear the tagline, Taste the Rainbow? Is it Maynard's? Is it Smarties? Or is it Skittles? Maynard's, Smarties, or Skittles?
Taste the room.
Taste the Rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah.
It can't be Smarties because I know Smarties.
It's
Yeah.
not it. Okay, let's eliminate
So-
Smarties.
Because Maynard's is sweet.
I'm hearing something.
Yeah, I'm also
There's some
hearing
noise
something
like
somewhere. So we have Maynard's.
Skittles?
We're going with Skittles.
Skittles.
Okay, then you deserve a pat.
Is that,
It's
is it-
definitely
yeah, 'cause
Skittles.
It's not Smarties. I know Smarties.
Yeah.
Quite a lot I got. I don't know if it's still that.
And Maynard's is not tasty.
Yeah, it's not
rainbow.
tasty.
Skittles is. Yeah, but Skittles is more like colorful. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but they're
yeah.
not. I don't know when was the last time I
had Skittles. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same here. But I think
2
you
out of
had
5?
2 out of
2
No,
out
we
of
gave
5?
we gave them. So she's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we gave that one,
Skittles.
and then she got that one, and then that
And
one.
but I got the most important one.
Very,
The young, yeah.
very much.
The most
Very
important
much.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
others actually,
Yeah.
you know when you do a calculator.
I have to have a
Elevate
conversation
Africa.
with Shongi to say,
Yeah. But you know what you can say? It's because you don't like Cardi.
no, he really does.
Yeah, so I think that's how we can salvage this at home.
Oh, that was a fun quiz, eh?
So that's our,
Fun.
really?
Great. It's
Yeah,
different.
it
It's
is.
not like obvious things. Yeah.
It shouldn't. Welcome and thank you so much for the opportunity for coming to chat
Yep.
to us and answering our burning question around rediscovering your life.
Real living.
But and we said it's your life, so you are discovering it.
what-
So
yeah.
rediscover.
And it's what it
real-
means to you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Rediscover real living. So make sure to catch this podcast on YouTube and all the other audio platforms from Spotify to Apple Music to
Google Podcasts,
SoundCloud.
Yep.
And make sure then where can one link up with Vongani?
Yes, if they want to reach out to you, are you on
They say
LinkedIn?
this is a mentor man. They're identifying a mentor. Yeah. So you can go to, and it's Vongani
Mageza.
Mageza, and you'll be able to find her. I found her, and I was like, let me not stalk her now. Let me stalk her after.
Interesting fact, it's only clicking now.
Yeah. What?
It's only clicking now.
What's clicking?
That Vongani
No.
has the same name as her husband.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's it from us, guys. Thank you so much once again.
Thank
Make
you,
sure to
thank
tune
you.
in on this episode, the 33rd episode of the Pat on Brands podcast. And as always, let us know what are your thoughts, what questions or burning questions you want us to answer. Who would you love as a guest? And also tell us more. Tell us if you actually taken on the redefining or rediscovery or rediscovering real life or real living. Make sure to tell us your story, how you are rediscovering your life and living, especially for those who are small businesses. Make sure we had the Friday sessions where they mentioned for small businesses. Wednesday also there is something that's happening. Is it on a social media
It's
platform?
all on social.
Yeah, so make sure to engage, understand the products that are available for you, for your benefit, and yeah, this is all for you. So thank you from myself, Unompumelelo Sacha. I am out.
From me, Pat Mahlangu Giti, ina khailale.
And from our guest.
Thank you. I've had fun.
Also,
Nice conversation and congratulations on your platform.
Thank you so
3
much.
episodes is not a joke.
Yeah.
And hopefully next year you'll come back again, maybe in a different capacity, or maybe there's a new campaign
product,
again that you'd like us to talk
yeah.
about.
Maybe I can just talk.
That's also true. Be the other host. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely one. Bye.